that's kind of one way that you can maneuver quickly through the book, because we're not going to read the whole thing. We're just going to look at one section. So if you would, if you can manipulate your book to, let me find the page. It's page 13. And it will look something like this, The Science of Plastics. You found it. Great. Now, to get rid of, see it? Right, you do the down arrow, and that'll give you a full screen again. Yep, you got it, The Science of Plastics. Okay, now, let me show you how you use the keywords. It's really kind of a beginning note-taking system. All right, so here's what I'm going to have you do. Did you find it, Sloan? There you go. All right, thanks, friends, for helping her out. Okay, so now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some of my stickies, and I'm going to have my paper here. And as I read, when I come up to a key idea, I'm just going to write it, that single word, onto this Post-it. So read with me, if you will. All right, I'm looking at the top. The Science of Plastics. Plastics are polymers. A polymer is a chain of molecules. In plastics, the polymer chains can repeat themselves millions of times. Engineers and chemists experiment with these polymer chains in the lab, changing them in various ways to make hundreds of different types of plastics. Okay, now I'm going to stop right there. Here's what I want to recommend, particularly when you're reading a science book. Every book you pick up, you have to take a stance of how you're going to approach it. And because this is a science book, I'm going to have to slow it down a little bit. I can't read quite as fast as I would with, say, Harry Potter or something like that. So let me go back and look at it again. Let me read one more time here. Plastics are polymers. A polymer is a chain of molecules in plastics. The polymer chains can repeat themselves millions of times. Engineers and chemists experiment with polymer chains in the lab, changing them in various ways to make hundreds of different types of plastics. Okay, so let me pause there, and I'm thinking here. The plastic that's in my glasses might be different than the plastic that's on here, or the plastic that's on this chair, or the plastic that's in the space shuttle. And so I'm going to write, here's the first thing I'm going to write down. I'm going to write down the word polymer, right? Because they said what it is, it's a polymer is a chain of molecules. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to put here on my keyword molecules. And then I'm going to put down on another one, I'm going to put down the word chain. Chain. So when you go to a lab, if I want to make plastic for glasses, or I need plastic for this computer, if I'm a chemist, what did it say I have to do? I have to move the polymer chains in different orders, and that's how I create different types of plastic. So I'm going to just put this down here, okay? So let's do one more, and let's see if you guys can help me think of some keywords, okay? So here's the next one. Polymers, or giant molecules, are made by chemically combining smaller molecules known as monomers. If just the right monomers are combined, a reaction takes place that makes the monomers cluster together, or polymerize. Now let me take a look here. I've got a little photo down there, but I'm going to look at the caption. It says polyethylene, a polymer is made by chemically combining ethylene molecules to create a giant molecule. Okay, so let me think for just a second. Take a look at that. What do you think might be a key word that I want to write down to help me remember how plastics are monomers? What do you think? Turn and talk with your partners first. What do you think? All right, so let's come back. Who's got an idea? What should I write down? What do you think?
Monomers.
Why should I put monomers down? Well, they've highlighted it, right? So, but what is a monomer? How do you make a polymer? How do you make a big polymer? You make it with smaller Monomers, right? So think about what you know about your roots and suffixes, right? Poly, many, mono, meaning one. So lots of monomers together create a bigger polymer, and different polymer chains make different kinds of plastics. Good thinking. Anybody else have another idea? Polymerized. Why do you think that one's important? You got it. So I have to kind of look, how do I spell polymerize? Polymerize. So when the monomers form a polymer, and the polymers form these big chains, we get different types of plastics. And that whole process is called what? Polymerizing, when you're making all those different... Okay, you see why you have to be kind of slow here? Because it's harder material, but you'll get it. All right, so I'm going to let you continue on your own. I'm going to let you read. I'm going to give each of you a clipboard, a portable desk. I'm going to give each of you some Post-it notes. And when you come to something that you think is a key word, I'm going to go ahead and let you write it down. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll talk together about what we learned about plastics and how you make plastic things, okay? So off you go. And as you're reading, I'm going to come around and take notes on great things I see you doing.